Hi,
Hello,
everyone.
everybody. We are live. Yes, this is CSG. No, I don't know if he was ready. No, I don't care. We're going to be talking about things until people turn up. Hopefully,
But I'm
people will.
naked.
That's normal, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why I don't have a camera.
It explains a lot. Hey, I'm naked in front of the computer, and no, I don't care about the weather. Right. We're basically chatting about whichever random crap we feel like. Part of it's going to be this cyberware. What we can expect is coming. In all fairness, mate, okay, based on what we were talking about earlier, the way to look at it is what the military are going to get first. Because let's be completely honest, it's going to go through the military into the police and then the air quotes private services. Don't you agree?
It depends. I can see that, first of all, it will be governmental sanctioned. But with a lot of things, it's going to be a case of there will be a black market for it. Once the government learns how to cut people up and be able to put cyberware in, it will then be a case of other people will learn, as in a fact of once that technology exists, it will be replicated. So I don't
Yes.
think it would be long until private hands would be able to get it.
I'll accept that. That actually sounds perfectly reasonable. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but the military are trying out a form of gene splicing, i.e., they're hoping to give their soldiers the capacity to see at night by putting in cat modifications to the basically genetic upgrades to their people. Have you heard about this?
I haven't, but all I have to say is I think the Khajiit want their lives back.
That's fair. That's fair. No, seriously, they're looking at some DNA modification. You'll probably find it will be short-term injections that will produce these effects. For instance, it will boost your hearing because they'll be using the DNA of a dog or something similar, and they'll be
Well,
going
wouldn't the
for
cat
not.
already add to that?
Yes, but dog actually has a better hearing than cat ever will. It's about 150% better than cat could ever hope for.
I thought it was the dog had. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. I thought it was the sniffing that the dog was better at.
Oh no, it is. That is also part of it. I mean, can you imagine what the scouts would be like if they could actually have the tracking ability of dogs? They would be scary good.
Well, until they get back into their barracks and they realise that they all need to have a wash and their sense of smell has been diminished because somebody didn't take their shoes off right at the right time.
There is that too. I mean, to say that there could well be one or two cough cough errors occurring, not the least being I mean, this is a slightly terrifying thought, but imagine a soldier walking towards you with the "I'm going to hump your leg" look. I mean, yeah, you could argue that's a standard look for a soldier, but I think you know what I mean.
Well, if it's the standard look for a soldier, then why do we need to worry?
It is actually not an unreasonable point. But as I say, you're looking at that. I mean, when it comes to like cyberware, especially the military, you're looking at dermal plating for resistance to damage. To say the least, that is going to that's going to keep soldiers alive, quite
Well,
simply.
I could imagine it being Kevlar skin grafts to begin with, like over the organs, like over the torso, so to speak. I can imagine that being one of the first ones, Kevlar being introduced into like a skin graft or something like that. That's
Agree?
just simple. Well, I
Yeah,
say
no,
simple. I
agree.
mean, it's not simple, obviously, but in the cyberware, if we're going down cyberpunk road, it's that technology could already exist, as we already do that with certain operations, not Kevlar, but fabric.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like I say, they're probably assuming that they're going to use standard terms. You're looking at dermal armor, which will be over the major fatal organs, probably enhancement to like the kidneys and things like that. And
Hmm.
funny enough, the genitalia, because let's face it, any sort of injury to that not good.
I mean, I don't think they're going to be that bothered about it. The army, they're not going to pay for it. The soldiers, sure. Army, nah, they're not going to be bothered.
Well, no, and here's my point. Actually, I'm going to disagree with you there. Technically,
I'm surprised. It's the red eye, and you finally disagree with me.
Yeah, actually, the reason being is quite simply any injury to the genitalia of the soldier takes the soldier out of the fight. So making sure that they're capable of continuing onwards would be beneficial for them.
Possibly. I will have to say I do think that you've started the stream about an hour early, as it doesn't seem to be interacting with people too much.
No, I've noticed that as well. But you know what?
We're here now.
Yep, we're here. We're going to carry on no matter what. The obvious one, of course, is smart links. I'm assuming you know about those, or what weapon enhancements, shall we say?
Yeah, no. The thing is with smart links, it would be a case of how do you actually bind all of that together. So it's not just a case of the idea of where you look. Once you put the target in, it's going to automatically remember the target. You're going to have to actually work that all the way through the arm, through the nervous system, and into the brain, into the ocular vision, and so on and so forth. So I think that even though it sounds simple, it's probably going to be one of the hardest ones that they can do as smart weapons.
Well, for one thing, you do not look at it. It's actually the gun that looks out of it. Basically, there is a micro camera on the gun, and so where the gun is pointed is where it targets. You are completely secondary. So if you fire over your shoulder, technically you actually can see behind yourself. Though granted, you can imagine what that's like for vision, but that's the whole point of cybernetics. You're getting to the point that, you know, well, they call it transhumanism for a reason. You are no longer human the moment you start getting that sort of thing put in.
Does that mean that you become trans, or is that something different?
Do you know what? I want to actually see what the alphabet community do when it comes to this, because technically they've actually got to agree with it if you use the basics of their arguments.
Well, no, I mean, they're all, depending on principles that they have, as in, is the human body sacred to them or not? It depends on if they'll accept it. I can't imagine Christians will. I can't imagine the religious will, but that's a different story.
Yeah. Though, I mean, let's be honest, when it comes to religion and things like that, and I know this technically could be part of your ballpark, but you're actually going to find that religion is going to be kicked to the side for most people when it comes to the cyberware. I mean, just taking the basic Christian religion with the body being a temple. Well, the body might be a temple, but I'm ripping bits out and putting new bits in. How's that going for you? Something tells me they're not going to be too chuffed with this. What do you think?
I mean, it depends. It depends on what branch of Christianity that you'd go down. It depends on the idea of what branch of Islam you go down. I know, for an instance, that people with the Hindu faith, and I know people as a Taoist, would not accept anything going on or being done for the body. I do not think Taoists actually accept you having prosthetics. But again, I don't know that off the top of my head. I would have to actually look at that one. But with the idea of religion in itself, accepting it, it really does depend. Because the good thing about religion is, in my opinion, that because it's, let's say, changeable by human demands, I'm not going to say it's created by, but changeable by human demands, would it not be in the church's best interest to actually keep their congregation alive?
I agree with you completely. I mean, the problem is the argument is actually suitable for both sides. And hi, Shirati, we do, you know, you like you said, you already have bits of cyberware in you, so I'm sure you have all sorts of opinions on what we're discussing, and I truly dread to think.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to be the misogynist here. We know that you have bits in you. You're a woman.
Oh dear. He said that, not me. YouTube, he did it, not me. do I ever really give a damn? I mean, let's be honest. I've already had warnings by YouTube. My entire reaction was, I don't care, which was actually really funny. I don't think they actually liked the fact I told them I don't care. But anyway, like I was saying, when it comes to the cyber war, I still think it will be a military thing first, purely because they're the ones that A, can afford it, B, can actually afford to have it put in, and I'm going to be blunt, aren't that concerned about the survival rate. Without wanting to be too harsh, it's not like the military really care now, is it? If you die on getting serverware put in, it will just get back that you died on a mission. Eventually, they'll start getting people with enhancements. And at that point, well, you can imagine the look on the enemy's face. Suddenly, your soldier speeds up to stupid amounts and starts dodging left, right, and center. I mean, we're not talking manga style or anime or whatever, but it won't be too difficult to get synaptic accelerators to do things like that.
Well, you say not like anime, but why would it not be similar to anime? Because the way that you'd have to move wouldn't be human anymore. It'd be completely and utterly machine. Because those will be machines that would be perpetuating you forward and propelling you forward. So you wouldn't need to be a human action anymore.
Okay, yeah, I see your logic there. I mean, the obvious stage one, like I say, will be genetics, because I can see that being the easiest thing to deal with to start, and of course injured troopers to cross-reference with the riggers that we were discussing earlier. Imagine those actually mounted as part of the vehicle itself. Quite simply,
Yeah, that's scary.
It is, isn't it? You're looking.
Yeah, but not scary. It's not scary in the fact of, oh, I think that that's going to be absolutely bad. It's the fact that I think that the human body will be desecrated that way, turning people into glorified cars.
Yes. Yes.
Hi, Kit. How are you? Get on the front of my car.
That's the problem. That is what is going to happen. And once you put that into a military situation, you've got where the turret sees, the gunner sees, and the gunner is the driver, so it can guarantee to drive in the correct direction. You're looking at basically maybe having a crew of one, plus obviously the implanted servitor, and the military suddenly gets really kind of exciting at that point. Note, by exciting, I mean fucking terrifying. And yes, I know.
Yeah.
But it
I mean,
would be.
for me, I don't have any problem with the idea of putting cyberware into people. I don't have any problems with augmentation of the human body and things like that. But I think if you're going to actually, in essence, what we're talking about is changing humans to be equipment. I know some people go, oh, well, we already do that. It's like, no, we don't actually put them out as a boat, or we don't actually put them out as a car. In actual fact, we use drones most of the time so people don't get hurt. But in this case, we're now turning that drone back into a human because of augmentation.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, given with what's going on in the modern world, I'm sorry for stuttering there. Can you imagine what drones will be like when the drone operator is literally looking out of the drone because that becomes his eyes? Can you imagine how? Actually, to be blunt, can you imagine how terrifying drones will become? And you're going to go, yeah, but drones have got cameras. You're already looking out of them. No, I mean literally looking. Oh, hello. Looks like we've got a possible interest. Wait a minute, Fi. Sending it to you in a sec. Karen chatting.
Oh no, he's Australian. Don't let the Australian on. He's already a transhuman.
Oh, that's going to get bad. Yes, this is unprofessional. No, I don't care. 41 Bumstink.
He definitely stinks. He's Australian.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just trying to fill dead air. Dead air.
Yeah, no problem. Hopefully you've received it, Farty. So like I was saying, Subway's going to be fun. And yes, I know Shirati's going to get upset at me for saying that because she's kind of a little bit against the idea. But in all
A
fairness,
little bit.
just not much, you know. It's she keeps such things so hidden so well, doesn't she?
She is a delicate flower.
Sorry, I'm trying not to laugh at that, but yeah,
I was being sincere.
I know.
Wait, sorry, I wasn't being sincere. That's the wrong descriptor. I was being correct.
Yeah, you are kind of a delicate little flower. Just accept it, Shirati. We know that. And trust me, if Oz was listening, he'd probably be sitting here nodding, staying quiet but nodding.
Yeah, I mean, is that really agreeing though when all you're doing is nodding?
Fair point. Hello, we have a Farty.
Hello.
Hey,
Good morning, all. And why isn't it showing my fucking icon?
Because you're
no
Australian
idea.
and you don't know how to use the computer?
First off, fuck you, CSG.
Welcome to the stream.
Nah, bloody StreamYards has been a fucking dick recently. Like, I can't go on anybody else's one because it keeps asking me for old fucking details which don't fucking work anymore. So that's why I haven't really been on much.
No worries.
And
Notice how nobody cared or asked.
nice one, cunt. I'm gonna go commit suicide now, and you're gonna be the cunt that's gonna fucking be the one that off the firefighter.
Am I?
Anyway.
Oh, okay. Does that mean I have to care first?
You are really in a good mood. Awesome. So, Paul, cyberware.
CSG stand for cunt sucking git?
Yes.
Nope, just the sucking git.
Nah, cunt sucking git. Oh, anyway, yeah, drones are already shit fucking scary. They got that fucking double-ended fucking dog fucking thing that they call a mule that can actually bounce around as badly as that fucking Terminator thing from the last movie.
True.
That's fucking freaky.
Actually, it is. Just imagine that if it actually had fold out weapons, small rocket systems or something. And to be honest, that won't be that long before they finally do have that, and we all know it.
Oh, well, see, they can't really do that because we've got the copyright and something similar. It's called a Combat Wombat.
Yeah, I've seen it. That picture is still outstanding, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but one thing we are doing right, and I'm a bit in two minds about this because typically we used to have two people sitting in an interceptor or a jet fighter for the simple reason to take the load off the pilot. The pilot just flies. The Rio in the back does all the weapon systems and all that kind of shit, locks up the target and fires, loads up the missile and all that kind of crap. The F-35 is supposed to do all of that plus more. And now we're going to fucking add on this bloody drone system called Wingman. And Wingman literally is a bunch of fucking model aeroplanes that are going to fly with the F-35 that we're going to send in and get shot down first. Still a fucking expensive way of doing it, but yeah, apparently the VR headset and the F-35's helmet is going to be the eyes of these fucking drones while they're flying off and taking out targets ahead and shit, being cannon fodder. So that shit's already happening.
I mean, as soon as I hear anybody say wingman, I just think, okay, let's go down a pub.
Actually, what you're describing there, Farty, is actually very similar to something that they had. I believe it was in one of the Stargate episodes that actually had something like that, didn't they? Do you remember? They went to a world that was under attack, for want of better, northerly south.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember now?
Yeah. It was sort of kind of like Ready Player One, but everybody thought it was just a simulation, but they're actually killing actual people. Oh, it's only drones against drones. That's how we fight wars. And the other ones were actually manned aircraft. When they found out, they all went, all went gooey in the guts.
Yeah, you saw that one. It was actually, it was kind of cool. I liked
That
it.
was similar to that Simpsons episode where Bart is killing people and thinking he's a game, and he's actually over in Iraq.
Oh my god, yeah. We get to say Simpsons did it. How about that? Shock horror.
Yeah, they thought of it first. Their predictions
Well,
are still coming true, everyone.
Well, the neo-Nazis say,
worrying.
no. The neo-Nazis go, don't blame the SS and all that. They were all fucking so hopped up on meth, they thought they were playing a computer game 50 years before computer games were a thing.
Yeah, let's just leave the people that actually tried to defend that, because I'm not saying you are, by the way, but leave the people that are trying to defend that. They already cannot think straight. That's why they defend it.
Fair point. Oh well, now, like I say, things are going to get interesting. Just imagine when they actually can mount a single unit into the flying vehicle, and notice the wording I'm using here. And like Fight was saying, the wingman idea, it takes off and it's got hardwired straight into it. So he now feels what the aircraft feels. Can you imagine the maneuverability of that craft? Sort of things it can do.
And the pain of when that craft get ripped apart. Oh no, sorry, never mind. Don't think about that bit.
Well,
You
what's
get-
the difference? What's the difference between an ISIS encampment and a Syrian hospital?
Perspective.
Fucked if I know. I'm just a drone operator.
Yeah,
True.
that unfortunately is the answer. Oh boy, that's actually a worrying thought. The thing is, this is how I can see things going soon. And like I say, for for urban use, look at drones. It's not actually that difficult to actually get a drone that you can mount a pistol to nowadays. So
Flamethrower.
Well,
I'm glad you thought of
don't
that.
even you don't even really need to arm the drones, because like the whole surveillance element of drones and how small they're getting, how many you can utilize, the pre-programmable ability of them. There's the Japanese have got a bit of footage where they've actually got a ladder of fireworks, sort of burning up into the sky because it's been held up by a series of drones and shit like that are all coordinated and are working autonomously off a program. Now, this is what I can see possibly happening here if China does invade Australia, is that like fucking they'll have, say, an artillery unit sitting somewhere, and around them they'll have just fucking drones everywhere with forward-looking infrared and heat thermal images and things of that nature, making it extremely difficult to hide from them. So you can't get to this artillery thing. And we even had a thing called Metal Storm. And this was electronically charged plasma firing projectiles that had a rate of fire of 1 million rounds a second. We also made a 4-barrel mortar system that we were trialing about 20 years ago that you could link up with a whole bunch of sensors and shit out in the bush, and basically you trip a laser, and these fucking mortar things will just, they'll raise up, swing around, fucking fire 4 rounds, and you're fucked. So it can make an impenetrable barrier for modern normal weapons, but you don't necessarily need to arm them. You just can't hide from the fucking things. That's more scary than anything.
And yes, Batman, you can. I mean, let's be honest, it won't actually take too long before we actually start doing almost everything involving drones. Technically, drones are actually putting the military out of a job because most of the combats will actually be done with drones. Have you seen what they can do with the little micro drones for speed?
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they're even trying. They were trialing room clearing drones, like these little tiny toy cars. Basically, you just pull out of your backpack, throw through a window, and you can through a building, fucking find where everyone is.
That was actually a really good impression. Did you practice?
Yeah, they've even got ones that mount fucking Mag 58s and things of that nature.
Yep. And yes, I agree, Batman. The taking them out with their signals is quite simple, but equally, all you'd have to do then is have some of the drones track down where it is that's taking it out. Because after all, most neutralization systems are usually in a direct angle, or you basically lob it in the middle and blow it up.
You
The
don't even
problem
need to
is-
do any of that. You don't even need to do any of that. Remember, we're talking about the idea of transhumanism, and we're talking about the idea of
Yeah.
something similar to a cyberpunk. Why would you not have
That's
something
true.
similar to what's called a netrunner, where all they need to do is send one person in and the whole fucking military that's in that area is fucked?
Yeah, no, that is actually very true. I mean, one of the major things with the netrunners, obviously, is the data jacks, but we actually already have things of a similar type. A lot of blind people are actually using them to attach their glasses so as they can actually see through their glasses, or at least receive electronic information.
Well,
One moment, man.
Elon Musk just fucking came out with a neurological patch that, for the vague part of the read was fucking something akin to that fucking, was it Keanu Reeves movie where the fucking little slot in the back of his head and you can fucking just plug a fucking computer in?
I think that's called the Matrix, but I'm not
Mnemonic.
sure.
No, not the Matrix. It was something else.
Johnny Mnemonic.
That's the one. Yeah, it's similar to that.
Link sent to you, Batman. Yes, oh no. Well, let's be honest. Johnny Mnemonic was created around the whole cyberpunk idea, so it's not really a surprise. Hey, Batman.
Grüß Gott, mein Herr. Couple of things. What you were saying about the cyberpunky thing. Yeah,
Yep.
great. Take out the military, but it won't. It'll hamper the military. It's not going to take them out. That because there is a reason why everybody in the army, hell, in the military, Navy, Air Force, I don't care what, they're soldiers first. They're given basic infantry training. Yeah, you can take out the high technology in that, but they can still get their hands on their rifles and they can still fight effectively.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, but the problem with that is the simple numbers. Say, for instance, that you had insurgencies like terrorists, for instance, say ISIS. They had one version of a netrunner, and then they had, let's say, tens of hundreds of people that are ready to die from suicide bombing and whatnot.
They're never going to have tens of hundreds of people ready to die for them, suicide bombers and whatnot, in a place where you've got a lot of soldiers. That just doesn't happen. It never has. I don't see it ever happening.
Well, they are
the
looking at
ISIS state never happened then.
No, well, they are looking
obviously
at.
ISIS state happened, but people like ISIS tend to operate in small cells.
Agreed, but my point is, if you have something similar to how ISIS state operated, all you would need to destroy the idea of drones being a heavy influence on that military is one or two netrunners, and then you have a equilibrium of people fighting against each other.
Yeah, the thing is, with the setup you're talking about, people like ISIS would have it as well, and therefore to be just as vulnerable.
Well, ISIS
in that
already
kind of
do
world-
have drones.
Yeah, they
Yes.
would be just as vulnerable.
They do already have drones. They have fucking model aeroplanes they're dropping hand grenades off. But swarm attack is not a new fucking concept either. I mean, since the US Navy and stuff went to guided missiles and phalanx, it was very obvious right from the very beginning that if you threw enough shit at the wall, something will eventually stick. I mean, like a phalanx is only operable for about a minute constant firing. You can only fire so many missiles.
It's like modern air combat. I mean, back in the day, it was dogfights, right? Even with jets, it was, you could see the plane to say you fought with your cannons more than your missiles. Now there's an enemy fighter over the fucking horizon. You press a button, your missile will lock onto it, seek it out. Even if it hides in the clouds, that missile will seek it out and destroy it.
You can still get around a lot of those missiles, especially out at range. Like the problem with beyond visual range missiles is the rocket only fires for a certain amount of time, and when it gets into its terminal phase, you can still outrun it because it loses energy too quick in a turn. But
less so nowadays, I think.
Yeah, with swarm attack though, you can have dumb systems going up against F-35s, and you can economically fuck somebody up by killing all of their really high technology right up front because you just overwhelm them, which is what the Indonesians basically were going to do to us with our F-35s.
The other scary thing when it comes to fighters is we're getting closer and closer to the smart unmanned combat fighter.
Yeah, we've already just been through that with Wingman.
planes
Yeah.
are getting so fast and so agile, the human pilot cannot keep up with it.
I literally said just that, mate.
Did you?
Yeah.
No, we've been talking because remember we're talking
Transhumanism.
basically transhumanism. Well, yeah, like I said, transhumanism technology. We're
Actually,
looking at
sounds-
the pilot being plugged in to
If
the
you
actual
take-
flight.
Yeah,
vessel.
if you take it to its logical conclusion, what you're actually on about is post-humanism, where humans are no longer there.
Yeah. Which is why I was saying about eventually the military will be unimportant, but CSG is
Oh,
correct.
hey,
What
have
the
you
network
ever
is for.
have you ever seen a film called Surrogates?
Can't say I've seen it.
Bruce Willis. Right, everybody uses. Most people use these surrogates. What it is, it's an android, right? But it's not
Yep.
autonomous because you plug yourself into a virtual reality system and basically inhabit the android body. And that's what,
Okay.
yeah. But part of it, you find that's what the military using to fight wars with. Yeah, these soldiers never actually see combat; their surrogates do.
Well, here's an interesting thing too, because there's supposed to be the 3 laws of robotics. You know, thou shalt not harm humans, thou shalt not by cause of action harm humans, and all this kind of crap.
Yeah.
There's actual footage of that being fucking broken, where a Japanese robot basically tries to negotiate a set of escalators. It's too big for the stair, and it falls forward, and it slides down the stairs, and just like fucking KOs someone at the bottom of the fucking stairs. So by course of action, shouldn't have done that in the first place. So yeah, like the Terminator theory does come into it, where eventually they're going to think, right, well, humans are their own worst enemy. Right, get rid of the humans. That's the only way to save them.
Why? It's an artificial intelligence, right?
Before you go down that road, remember that the 3 laws that you're talking about are actually programmed into robots, so they can quite
Yeah.
easily be programmed out.
No,
So
they
it's
couldn't
not
because
necessarily a structure
they're-
that's actually there autonomously. It's not just something
They're-
that's there.
those 3 laws aren't just programmed in; they're hardwired in. They can't
Yeah,
be
I know.
programmed down.
They can, okay.
You know what I mean? It's not RAM; it's ROM, read only. It can't.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know, but you can reprogram that by changing the ROM.
Anything that actually has
Yeah,
a
fair
full program, which is obviously what is needed to actually make the damn thing work, can have its ROM
Oh.
rewritten purely using the correct equipment and hardware to do it.
But my thoughts on the sorry, Jensen, I thought you finished.
No, sorry, man. Now I have yours.
The idea of the Skynet thing, where the operating system becomes sentient and decides to get rid of humans because it wants their resources and it doesn't like and humans are dangerous. I don't think it would happen because you're talking about a being that can think far quicker than we can. Its technology would advance far quicker than our technology would. It would simply go somewhere where there aren't any humans, where it can get all the resources it needs. It doesn't need a fucking atmosphere. It doesn't need protection from radiation.
As far as I know, now please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not a Terminator nerd, but I have watched, unfortunately, all of the movies. I say unfortunately because of the last versions of them. But as far as I remember, Skynet didn't actually turn on humanity because it wanted resources. It turned on them because it saw them as the biggest threat to itself.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's initially in the first one. I think that was because it became sentient and people tried to turn it off.
Yes.
Yeah,
By then it was
and
too
was
late.
confirmed all the way through the rest of them that that's one of the main reasons why it
Right.
did what it did.
Do you want my view on the Terminator movies? They shouldn't
They're
have been
shit.
any beyond the first one. Because Kyle Reese comes back in time and says that as soon as he went back in time, they blew up the fucking facility, so nothing else could go back.
Well, that's
So-
what they told him.
No, that's
Well, it's not. No, wait. Remember that what would have happened was that the Terminators found that first. So the information and technology that was already there or made by them is already stored on their memory bank, so they can just make it again. So even if it was the only one,
No, it couldn't because Skynet had been defeated. There was no Skynet at that time.
I didn't think that Skynet was destroyed in Terminator 1. I thought it got
Yes, it
destroyed
was.
in Terminator 3.
No, he was destroyed in the first Terminator because Terminator that was sent back to kill Sarah Connor was its last-ditch attempt
Yes.
to rewrite history.
Correct.
Yeah,
Well,
but
it
it did
does make-
rewrite history. But that's
it
why
does
it did
make-
rewrite history.
It didn't,
Sorry.
because if Kyrie
does-
hadn't
it
been back,
did.
hold on.
It
If
did
Kyrie hadn't
because
been
it left
back in
its.
time, if
It
Kyrie
does
hadn't
make
been back in
sense.
time,
It
John
does make
did.
sense in the
But
second
very,
one.
very quickly. Sorry, very quickly. I know we're all talking over each other, but very, very quickly. It did because of the reason that it left the Terminator's arm, which means that it accelerated the history. Remember, timelines are not
did it?
linear. No, it did. That's why Terminator 2 happened.
yeah, but
that's
if
actually-
Terminator 1 hadn't happened, John Connor would never have been born. Therefore, there wouldn't have been any need to send the Terminator back in the first place.
Now we're talking about the difference in timelines. The timelines themselves are not linear.
That's a paradox. No, like the second one does make sense, and it should have ended with the second one because the actual
Agreed.
technology being left, it would have eventually become like and they did fucking do it in like the extended version of the original one. The factory that they killed the first Terminator in was
They
actually
threw every
Cyberdyne.
shit in. Yeah,
It was Cyberdyne.
and they threw all this
but-
shit in as well.
Yeah, but then there's the Red Dwarf version of things where fucking it could happen in this town where I fucking live because they're all fucking retards that are fucking an android or a cyborg or something of that nature would say, oh, can you take out my guilt chip because I want to feel fucking, I want to lie and cheat and all this kind of shit. And some dumb fuck will do that and go, fuck you.
Well, think
Yeah,
about it
Alyssa
from this
did
point
that.
of view. You could have an idea of a civil rights for sentient robots,
You
for
would.
instance.
I believe you would. If we had sentient artificial life, especially in the West, because that's the way our civilization has always gone. We extend liberty to anybody. who can think,
Everything.
Right, to
Everything.
anything that can think. And
You don't do
There's
it
so
to the
much that I
others.
could say to that. There's so much that I could say to that, and I don't think it's my place to say.
Well, I mean, look, we treat people from the southeast of England like humans.
Well, that's only because that we have people from up north telling us that we're definitely better than the people up north.
No, we tell you the opposite because you're too French.
Too French. That's true, but you could be worse. You could be Scottish.
No, actually, we're more Scandinavian.
I'd rather be a Scotsman than to break my foot off on a terrorist nuts than a fucking cheese-eating surrender monkey.
Exactly.
Yeah, true. I can't really argue that one.
And Nicola Sturgeon is the no true Scotsman fallacy.
You say that. She's definitely she is definitely a Scotsman.
I think she looks too much like Angela Merkel to be a Scotsman. I think she's an East German spy.
Do you know?
No, I meant
you
she's a
sometimes-
Scots
What's wrong?
man.
That's the problem.
Yeah, I was going to say, Angela Merkel, you sure she's not a drag queen?
I mean, I'm not sure of anything, but I'll send you brave Aussies to go and find out.
Yeah, no, thanks.
Yeah,
We've got enough in
well,
Paddington.
Typical Southerner, get somebody else to do the fighting for them.
Hey, that's why we're the intelligence ones. We always send the monkeys off to do the job.
Yeah, and look what you end up with: Planet of the fucking Apes.
Hey, I'd
But
rather have
we're,
Planet
still
of the Apes than
we're,
fucking...
we're still talking the offling and poop.
I don't think so.
Gentlemen, please.
It's a red eye.
We're
Just
taking the
remember-
piss. It's fun.
It's a red eye.
And all we need to do is remember one little thing. York is Welsh. That's all we need to worry about.
Oh my Jesus.
Who's Welsh?
Oh my Jesus, I forgot about that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yorkie.
Yeah, it's an ongoing joke of York is Welsh. He actually
There'll be
said
welcome
he was
in
rather
the
than
hillside.
Yeah,
That's
he's
it.
not really a part of the White Roses, he's just part of the Sheep Shaggers.
That'll explain the curly hair.
Bah. Yes, I agree.
Do you know
When did you get a New Zealand accent there, Jensen?
I'm quite good at it, aren't I?
Hey, Jensen,
Yeah.
do you
Yep.
do you know what to an Arab what the difference between a camel and a goat is?
Height.
One's their wife and the other one's their transport.
No, you don't need a step ladder to fuck a goat.
Yeah,
I like my version.
Mine,
I like my
mine is
version.
even more insulting.
One you
Well,
hump,
once-
one has a
I'm
hump.
calling their yeah. Okay, fair enough. I'm literally calling the goat their wife, but fair enough.
Yeah, I'm just calling the goat their bit on the side.
Yeah, that implies that they can get more than one. At least if it's their wife, they're forcing it.
Oh,
So
you
does that
think
mean
goats
Billy
wouldn't
Piper's
be-
Welsh?
If we're really going to get unpleasant to these people, all we need to do is remember this. How old is their wife? And you just leave it there and you don't say
Are we
further.
talking about goat years or human years?
Hey, if
Or
you
does
want
it
to
matter?
really-
Because they're both
if you wanna be-
kids.
If you want to be
Oh,
really
come
insulting,
on. Come on, you missed that.
we
Oh, no,
tried
you-
to.
Come on, you missed that. That was horrible. You should not have done that.
We tried to miss it.
Yeah, Joe
If one-
Biden's sitting there going, "It's funny because it's true."
If you want
Sure.
to be really
That's the
insulting,
problem.
do you know what? Do you know what an Israeli mine detector is?
Palestinian.
Children?
It's a Palestinian tied to a pogo stick.
I'm okay with this. And if MC's still in the chat, I'm sure he's actually completely comfortable with the idea. Because, well, he has.
They would be selling them.
What was that?
Yeah,
Mike?
but would he be selling them as slaves or pogo sticks?
Mine detectors.
I don't know.
Well,
Either
I
way,
mean, it's the
he's
same
done up.
thing, right?
Either way, he's
Not
done
really,
up as an
because-
old timey crook with a big fucking neck coming. Come here, kitty. Come here, kitty.
No. Goes. One's a child's toy. The other one is a human tool, and the third one is just a disposable tool.
No
Yeah,
lot.
and to me, they're all tools.
There's a lot.
I mean, throughout the history of slavery, slaves had more protection over them than free people did, unless they were Irish slaves.
Yeah, I'm
Or white
gonna leave that topic for you guys to talk about.
Oh, I'm just touching on it and leaving it alone. Yeah,
wonderful.
kind of like when you find a dead dog when you're a kid, you just prod it with a stick a couple of times.
I mean, I've never found a dead dog, so I don't know what area you grew up in.
Hold on, you just said you never found a dead dog, which means that you've seen a dead dog. Did you kill this dead dog?
I ate it.
Yeah, you're definitely a southerner.
Says you that batters everything.
No, that's Scotland.
Oh, sorry, I was thinking of the actual true Norsemen, not the people that pretend to be.
No, that's Scotland. The people who batter
Yeah,
everything. They batter their food, they batter their wives, they batter their husbands, they batter their children.
so they're equal then. So they believe in equality then.
Well, in all fairness,
Yeah.
equal opportunity batterers. There you go.
Well, that's why I said it.
But can we go back to cyberware and how to block people using?
Yeah, let's talk about Cyberdyne.
The thing is, with the advent of cyberware and cybernetic weapons in the field, you would also have the advent of EMP weapons in the field.
Yes.
That would be a double-edged sword. That would be a
No, that-
double-edged sword, though.
No, it's easily fixed because they've already got shielding and stuff like that for devices and stuff since the advent of nuclear weapons. They already thought about that. So
Yeah, but
obviously,
yeah,
your shit's going to be shielded.
yeah, what you can shield, I can find a way around.
Yeah.
That's true. But until
I mean-
that point,
You can imagine, because not all troops on the field are going to be cyborgs.
Yep.
You're going to have anti-cyborg units. I mean, you get this troop of cyborg troops attacking your position. Anti-cyborg units start laying waste with their EMP weapons, and you get basically people lying on the floor twitching.
well, see, there is one way around it at the moment. The Yanks actually shot down an Iranian drone. They didn't actually use a projectile weapon. They're not exactly saying what they actually did, but the basic thing is that they sent up a fucking signal blocker, basically, and it just cut the fucking the satellite link.
It's Iran. The easiest way to take any of their aircraft out is just with carpet moths.
But like until you can encrypt the signal and stuff like that, things of that nature work. They do have these things mounted on like fucking Hummers and Strikers and vehicles out in Iraq and stuff like that to block mobile phone signals, so that cunts can't set fucking IEDs off with mobile phones and whatnot. The whole point of them bragging about they shot it down with some signal blocker was that we didn't have to spend 1,000 rounds to blow it out of the air.
The easiest way to do that would you'd have to have your drone always in line of sight would be laser guided. Yeah, the signal is carried on a laser, which you can actually do. You can transmit signals with a laser.
Yeah, I can probably see that foil might actually be useful in that situation because it's exactly what it sounds like. It's literally fucking metal that's designed to bounce back radar signals and things of that nature. And with a laser beam, if something gets in front of that, then you might be able to knock it out of trajectory so that it'll lose a signal, maybe.
Also depends on the strength and visibility of the laser beam, because you do get laser beams that are absolutely invisible. They don't even leave a red dot when they hit the target.
They can be seen through infrared. That's how we actually use them. It's you see it through infrared. They don't see the little dot, but you do through your sights.
Yeah, I mean most lasers they're invisible unless you're directly in the path of the beam. Well, all lasers, unless of course it's a phone.
Smart link. Is what I was actually saying earlier. You notice that we've actually still gone back round to the side, but again, like it or not, it is going to happen.
There is I just thought there is another alternative to the post-human idea. It's where it's not Skynet taking over the world, but human beings eventually. Every human being on a planet is uploaded into a digital
an engram
framework. Yeah. Your mind is alive and conscious and aware and able to manipulate the real world from cyberspace. You no longer need a body.
Well, that's another concept that they've been talking about for about a decade now, is that, immortality in the future will just be your ability to download yourself into a computer. You will be a program that can think. Initially, it's not going to be actually you. It's going to be a program that's designed to be exactly like you. You won't have the consciousness or anything like that, but it'll just be a program emulating you pretty much.
Yep. So that means that you die anyway, then.
If it's even if I'm on about with the uploading of your consciousness, even if it's fully aware and it is sentient, not just intelligent. It's still not you. It's a copy of you.
Well, that's probably they're talking about one of the first things they're going to try and do when they finally crack quantum computing, is because that apparently will have the absolute computing power to effectively have what's the next best thing to a consciousness.
I think the next best thing to a consciousness is Joe Biden.
He's nowhere near.
He's not a consciousness, but he's the next best thing to it.
That's why he keeps feeling up little kids. Has this one got the essence I need?
No, he does that because he needs the blood of virgins to keep himself operating.
Explains why he's not looking at Kamala. It says a lot, really.
He dies slowly and horribly in Scotland.
Isn't he part Irish or something?
No, he claims to be, but...
Oh, no, he's Catholic. That explains everything.
Yeah.
I suspect he's got about as much Irish blood in him as Chief Sitting Bull had. He's
Catholic. That explains the kiddie fiddling.
That's why I said that. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Bit slow on the uptake there, mate.
Hey, you know what makes me laugh about the United States? Their glorification of the Irish, right? And the Irish struggle, and we love the Irish. And the Americans, yeah. I mean, you've heard of NORAID, haven't you?
No.
It used to be a charity that raised money in the United States for the IRA.
Oh, yeah.
But the thing is, the Americans treat the Irish worse than anybody else.
Yeah.
They really did.
Well, I've said this before and I will say it again. You know that everyone talks about the Irish potato famine and how it's the fault of the English. Oh no, it wasn't. It was the Americans.
Mhm.
They actually sent over the blight. Did they do it deliberately? Probably
Probably.
not. But it came from them, and no, the English did not help. But nonetheless, we're actually not to blame. It's the bloody Americans.
Like
And
they
yes,
sent the potato.
But
You know why they
decide
sent,
what happens.
Jensen? You know why they sent the potato blight to Ireland?
Go on.
Because it run out of blankets.
No. They sent the potato blight to Ireland
No,
because the
I'm
Yanks are
joking.
too stupid to determine the difference between the Irish and the British.
Ouch.
I mean,
Okay.
that implies
Hey,
that they
he's
actually
not
did
wrong,
a
though.
genocide intentionally, and I just can't give that to the Americans.
He's not wrong though.
They tried to fucking completely fuck yous during World War II and send yous broke before they fucking decided to help.
How many times have Cockneys been mistaken for Australians by Americans?
True.
Hell, I've been mistaken for a fucking bloke from Boston by an American.
I mean, that kind of says more about the Americans than it does about anybody else.
Yeah.
Oh, MC's calling us island monkeys. Yeah, you live in a Democrat state.
He is a Democrat.
Yeah, MC is a Democrat.
Yeah, MC, you can't talk anymore, mate. You're a communist now, Harry. I mean, MC.
No, it's comrade MC.
No, that implies that you have this. That implies that you have the same, idoliction. You know, you
Not
can't be
if
a comrade if you don't think the same.
Not if I'm using it in a derogatory way.
Oh, so you're using it as a slur. I get you.
Yes.
Oh, well, they're not going to have a choice in the matter now because now that fucking Creepy Joe's in, they're all going after all the people who voted against him, like a good communist does.
This would actually explain why MC's got a pin-up of Nancy Pelosi in his bedroom.
That's just
I mean,
harsh.
he does literally throw like darts at it, but yes, it does explain it.
No, he
Actually,
throws something at it and it's not darts.
I actually could.
Is it a liquid?
imagine him doing that.
A white
Having
liquid.
seriously a picture of her on the dartboard and him lobbing darts at it. I could see that happening.
Actually, so
I
could
think-
I. But he's
I think we
American,
just-
so he'd probably miss.
I think we just found the cure for fucking MC's PTSD. Just get rid of that poster, mate, and you'll stop getting the night terrors.
To be fair, isn't that the only thing that's actually keeping him sane, so he can have his wet dreams? I mean, so he can have his dreams.
Hold on a minute there, CSG. Are you calling MC sane? Have you ever listened to any of his podcasts? I don't
Yeah,
think so.
He does
I
have
mean,
a-
he's sane enough not to vote for Joe Biden, so possibly.
He says that. He says that.
Okay.
By the
Yeah,
way,
I bet if you scrutinise the electoral roll, I bet he did. Or is he?
I'm sure we've
Or
all
his,
heard about YouTube and what's going on with them. You're not allowed to even mention it anymore, i.e., the vote.
No, you're not allowed to mention it past January 20th. So just so you know.
Oh, okay, cool.
well,
So basically,
yeah.
we
Well,
can say all we want. That's what I want
Susan
to
the cock jockey is a fucking slut.
feel better.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. If anybody's going to have any sort of form of cyberware, she is.
let's face it. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's mother was raped by Mr. Ed.
Yes, yes. I'm actually comfortable with
Or
that.
it might be the other way around.
I'm just
What,
happy I muted my mic.
Yeah.
And you got to say it right, too. It's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, because she fucking hates it when you pronounce it like that.
I know. But she only pronounces it that way because she can't get most of the sounds out from between those fucking teeth.
Yeah, it's a real shame too. She's such a fuckwit in those giant bloody teeth because she's one of the only bitches on the planet that's got a mouth big enough to fit my cock in it.
I mean, if I ever heard anything
Yeah,
about
between the
projection, that's just right there.
But, I mean, you look at her face. It looks like she's run into a glass door.
Repeatedly.
She looks
Yeah.
like her mouth looks like she's been the love child of Mick Jagger and fucking Steven Tyler from Aerosmith.
With
It's
those
just a giant fucking mouth.
Farty, with those teeth, there's a horse involved somewhere.
Well, I reckon if she came back as a fucking fly, she'd be a bug that can hang off the wall by its lips.
What ones?
Take your pick.
There's too much information. Nobody needs to be thinking about that, okay? No one.
Apparently her boyfriend calls her brown paper because that's what he puts over her head before he has sex with her.
She's not clumsy. She's just tripping over her piss flaps.
Are you going for the subtle approach then, huh?
Then we've got that Omar woman.
Oh, gee,
Yeah,
don't.
the one who's married to her brother husband.
Yeah, exactly. There's something seriously wrong with. I mean, we know there's something wrong with it, but it's married to its own flesh and blood.
Yep.
What?
Oh,
I mean, we're literally talking with an Australian and somebody from Yorkshire. I don't think that they get it.
I'm not from Yorkshire. I'm from.
Hey,
County
I'm
Durham.
from the mainland. I'm not Tasmanian, son.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and you've got to go a little bit further north if you want inbreeding, like Scotland. And even then,
I mean, at least we can unite over that hatred.
That's actually the thing. Yeah, have you noticed this? We've gone from taking the piss out of each other to immediately turning on Scotland in one maneuver.
Yeah. Yeah.
Classic.
And like it says, to be fair, if you want inbreeding in the British Isles, you've got to take a ferry up the Scottish Islands.
No, you see, unlike the BBC, we are unbiased. We'll take the piss out of every cunt.
Oh, the
Yeah.
BBC have got a staunch conservative as their new chairman now.
Oh,
Yeah.
You mean they didn't before?
No, they had a total lefty wimp. I think it'd be brilliant if he was actually a new broom and he got rid of a lot of them. Just that's it. I'm sucking a lot of years and hiring people who can think.
that is just too cool an idea.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, they may be able to save Doctor Who. No, I can't even carry that on. You know that's screwed.
See, I didn't even mind. I didn't even mind when they did the women's side of things. It's like, okay, they can fuck this up and then they can kill it off.
Kinda did.
But fine. But the point is that I'm making is that they could have just killed the fucker off, right? But no. She's
did,
now
actually.
been able to regenerate for another fucking 13 lives. They can't kill her off anymore. She doesn't have a limitation.
They did kill Doctor Who off, actually. That one, I think, was Heaven Sent, where Capaldi's doctor is trapped in that prison. He gets
You know
killed
that
by
they've
them.
now rewrit it, right? So that so she can regenerate countless times now.
No, they've destroyed it, so she can do that. But
Yeah, that's why I said that. Yeah.
Capaldi's doctor, right? He's in that prison. There's this monster chasing. The monster kills him, but before he dies, he activates the matter transporter, which creates a duplicate of him. This went on for hundreds of millions of years, giving him enough time to wear down the crystal that was encasing the TARDIS. So Jodie Whittaker is not the Doctor at all. She's the regeneration of an billionth generation copy.
I lost interest when they had Kylie Minogue in it.
Oh, Kylie Monotone. Hey, you're talking about horse-faced girls. I mean, Christ, her teeth are so. Kylie's teeth are so big she can't even get her lips to meet.
Mm-hmm. Did you know that the episode with Kylie Minogue is actually the most watched?
It's actually a good episode.
Going.
It's actually a good episode. I think they want to save Doctor Who. They need to go back to and Matt Smith was regenerating, right?
Yeah.
And then have the regeneration again into Capaldi. But everything that we've seen that led up to Jodie Whittaker was a regeneration nightmare.
They may use that idea. Just make it.
You need to. Because, let's face it, the only reason they altered canon so that Time Lords could regenerate into women was because of political agenda. It's also to get rid of male icons. and it doesn't work. Why do you think Stupid Girl and Bat Dyke have failed?
Oh, well, that's more because Ruby Rose is just a shocking fucking human being and no cunt likes her.
Including all the people that watch that show.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which says a lot.
I mean, I keep hearing from people that, oh, she's not a bad actress. She's not a bad actress. The thing is, have you ever watched where David Tennant, Matt Smith, and Christopher Eccleston were the doctors? They used to have those little shows before the actual show started, where they're showing the process of making it. And the cast actually, the main cast actually get quite a bit of input into the script and the feel of the show and how things are going to go. So Whittaker's just as much to blame as Chin Balls. And she's not a strong enough actress to carry a show.
Okay.
What?
For you old kids, how about this as a mental image? Doctor Who reforms as Joanna Lumley. I'm just going to stand back and let you two enjoy that one.
Already seen it.
Yeah. How cool was that, though?
It was. That's the thing. Even every actor in that it was Children in Need, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Every actor.
No. Was it Children in Need or was it Red Nose Day? One of them two.
Yeah, but every actor in that thing, even the ones that were only there for a couple of seconds, not long after them appearing on the screen, had me believing they were the Doctor. Whittaker has had, 2 seasons? And she still hasn't got me convinced that she's even a fucking Time Lord, let alone the Doctor.
Yeah.
Well, if you ever fucking seen her in an actual interview and stuff like that, the best one's fucking the Graham Norton show, and she's just the clumsiest blondie bimbo fucking ditz, and it's like, yeah, nah. It's not the Doctor. Doctor's not a fucking clumsy bit.
Yeah, she's also an incredible lefty.
Does that shock you, really?
And she's got a face like a bag full of spanners, let's be honest.
Yes. I actually remember watching the first episode of her taking over, and it's like, what is this shit? And at that point, I actually stopped watching her stuff, and then I found out the sort of insane rubbish that they've done. And I'm glad I did. I really am.
Oh God, that's something I actually hoped. When she Capaldi first regenerated and she fell out the TARDIS in orbit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was hoping it hits the ground and regenerates into an actual actor.
There's only so much the Doctor can really do, let's be honest.
Yeah. Well, let's face it, she shouldn't have survived that fall at all.
No.
I'd laugh if that scene where she falls out of the TARDIS in space, that as she falls out of the TARDIS, they make a sound.
No. What would be better was a wah, 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 wow.
Yeah, that would have worked.
Or you just hear just before it, get the fuck out!
Oh, there's a mental image for you. Them yeeting her straight out of the TARDIS. Oh, that would be so cool.
Yes, that'd be the updated version. Yeet!
It just goes for people listening. We're not saying this because it's a woman. We're saying this because it cannot bloody act. Okay? It's nothing to do with the woman's part. Just making that clear.
DG Isolated. Who is Ruby?
Ruby Rose. That bitch.
Oh, yeah.
That no cunt likes. That everything she's been in has failed.
Rubbery nose.
Yeah.
And even then, too, I'm not convinced that she's a fucking leso either, because I've never actually heard that, she has a partner. And, actually, no, once, but that was only for, to be trendy.
That's me with Ellen Page. I don't think she's transgender at all. I think she's doing it just to be trendy.
Mm. Hey, does anybody else think that Ellen Page sounds a hell of a lot like Miss Murder?
No, I like Miss Murder.
She may well be listening. I'm just giving you warning.
Like I said, no, I like Miss Murder.
That's all right. I asked her if she knows who Ellen Page is, and she said no, which I reckons that you've never seen the two of them in the same room together.
Hey, you are there.
I'm just
Well,
kidding.
hold on, Farty, we've never seen you and the Angry Aussie in the same room at the same time.
That's because I'd kill him.
One would hope so.
Yes, that's for safety reasons.
No, actually, I don't think you would, because I'd actually lock Bearing in the same room with him.
Well, I just lift my arm and kill everybody in the room then.
Yeah, but let's face it, Bearing would take his time killing the Angry Aussie.
Yeah, fucking, he takes his bloody time and everything.
And if Sugar Tits was there, oh God, I like Sugar Tits. She's funny.
Oh man, like no, seriously, fucking Sugar Tits, like you hear that accent fucking every bloody where. Oh God, I can't stand that fucking voice.
Farty, you hear that accent everywhere. We don't.
Yeah, no, trust me, when you do, it gets fucking monotonous real fucking quick.
What, like listening to a home counties accent, because you hear that everywhere in the UK? I can remember, God, when I was a kid, they made a TV show. It was done by Southern TV. It was supposed to be set in my part of the country. Everybody had a home counties accent, even the farm workers.
Oh, you got to love that.
No, you don't. Well, then again, it was made by the BBC. And one thing the BBC have always been has been elitist.
Yeah.
Even their good stuff, like The Good Life, they were upper middle class twits, basically.
And DJ, yes, I bet you really feel good now that you've looked her up. You realise you're probably the only person that's actually going to look her up this year. That should give you an idea of how famous she isn't.
DJ, I hate to tell you this, but it never washes off.
DJ, you're allowed to wank to her once before you actually get to find out who she is.
Oh, how can you wank to that? She's got the face and figure of a 9-year-old boy.
Yeah, no, you do it just to piss her off, because if she knew that blokes were wanking over her, she'd be fucking furious.
No, actually, she'd be pleased, because that means she'd make more money.
He's right. That's what's disturbing.
It's like these ones that find that what you call her, who acted as Hermione in the Harry Potter films. What the hell you call her?
Oh, Hermione and her vagina.
Oh, Emma Whitness.
Yeah.
Emma Whitness. I mean, she's got the face and figure of a 9-year-old boy as well. I honestly think the guys who find her attractive are closet pedo homosexuals. Hello, Ellen.
Approach then, huh?
I have noticed I have lost my wrench.
Everyone has. Don't worry.
Ellen hasn't.
Ellen.
Hello, Ellen.
Hey, Ellen.
Well, to be perfectly honest, I don't really need the wrench now, because you don't get limited in how much you can post in live chats.
Yeah.
And we never time people out of the channel anyway.
I can honestly say, if people are even vaguely concerned about this stuff, tough. The only two people with the wrenches are me and Doku, because at the end of the day, we're the only two people that are guaranteed to be on. And at this point, I know you're going to be going, okay, where's Doku? But he's asleep. That's the...
I was just pointing out, I wasn't asking for it back.
Good.
Because you just say no anyway.
Yeah. I've honestly, the amount of times that I was in these streams and there'd be people having to go at Dodge, I demand my wrench. No. Things are now a little bit different, people. We are under new rulership, i.e. me. And I don't care.
I just asked for my wrench back from Dodge. But that was back when you needed a wrench if you wanted to post more than a lot of the amount of times.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think I ever actually used any of the mod powers.
I only use them on one person, and thankfully that person doesn't come on here anymore. So
Ooh,
cough,
Augury?
cough. No, actually, I'm okay with him. No, the person we're talking about has got the nickname of Hemorrhoid. I'm sure you can work
Oh,
it out.
the giant monkey bum.
That's the
Yeah.
boy. Yeah.
Mm,
Right. To continue, as we're currently taking the piss out of the various people on TV, you don't get a range MC, you smell. Right.
yeah, besides you're a Democrat, you commie bastard.
No, he's communist now, remember?
That's
Let's
what I said.
take this out of Star Trek Discovery because
Right, I'm going.
I don't blame you.
I was going to say, you know how to ruin a fucking conversation, don't you, Jensen?
No, you want to ruin it? I've actually kept up to date with that shit because
Is
at
this
some
why you've
point-
been getting sick recently?
it explains a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Well, MC and I are actually thinking of doing a stream, connecting with the Prime Directive, and how, quite simply, Star Trek is talking rubbish. The problem is in comparison to Star Trek Discovery, they actually follow the Prime Directive in the other shows. Just wait until you see what they do.
They got it wrong in TNG.
Yeah. Sorry, what was that?
They got the Prime Directive wrong in TNG. The Prime
In what
Directive forbids you from interfering with the natural development of a primitive culture, right?
Yeah.
But it does not prevent you from, say, stopping an asteroid hitting that planet or rescuing people from that planet when the planet's going to blow up or something like that, which in TNG they thought it did.
No, you're right, actually. And I remember the episode you mean. Yeah.
More than one.
No, you have a point, sir. You have a point. So let's be honest, guys. Who has actually been watching Star Trek Discovery? I know.
You.
It is that bad, truly.
I even want to set fire to the people who are responsible for Star Trek Lower Decks as well.
Upper Deck.
I'm not even talking about that.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
upper
right.
deck because there's a turd in the system.
Mm-hmm.
Have you actually ever watched that, Farty?
Yeah, I got about two minutes into the second episode, and that fucking Black Sheila character that's like, oh, hip and young and in your face and coming at you and all this kind of shit, and just got right up my fucking nose.
I watched the first and the second episode, and I'm firmly the conclusion. She's not only Mary Sue, she's a bully.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Aaron. See, you turn up just as we start talking about Star Trek. There's
Yeah.
something about this, it really is.
Oh, there's one thing about Star Trek Lack of Discovery for you.
Go on.
Tilly. Self-confessed has multiple psychological issues, right?
Yes.
You find that when she's first introduced.
Yes.
She would never have been allowed in Starfleet, let alone on a ship. And apparently she got to be an ensign without going to Starfleet Academy. How does that work?
How?
Because even if you're non, hold on,
Go
even
on.
if you're enlisted, there's a Starfleet Academy program for the enlisted.
Yeah.
She would have had to go to Starfleet Academy. There's no two ways about it.
It gets worse.
But
I'm going to say
she
this
would never
part
been allowed.
seriously. Ensign Tilly is now the number one of the ship.
Yeah, I know.
I
That's
think-
absolutely impossible. There are people who are far more qualified than her.
It
People
technically
who-
gets better. She actually becomes captain of the ship and loses it 2 minutes later.
Yeah, right. Let's face it.
Did
there
she
are
forget where she parked?
She probably lost it while
fair.
she was in her fucking cabin, man.
I don't want to be horrible to the lady, but
I do.
she's large enough that it could disappear under her waistline. I'm going to be completely blunt. Okay? She's not exactly small, is she?
Yeah, and I hate to admit this, but I have a friend who thinks she's attractive.
What does his guide dog think?
I think his guide dog shot himself
Before or after it threw up.
during.
That's fair. And I agree with you, DJ. It can be absolutely bloody awful. To be completely honest, I know a lot of people take the piddle out of Star Trek Enterprise, but they should have stopped at that. The moment they started bringing out this other stuff, it's become too much. And
Yeah, especially prequels.
Yes, very much so. Though, in all fairness, you got Picard. That's not a prequel, and that's shit.
That's actually set in the Discovery universe as well.
Oh, okay. Didn't know that.
But
That's another thing I haven't bothered watching.
It has 6 of 2 3s in it as well. Who
Oh,
apparently is an old friend of Picard's. How? They never met!
There's
yeah.
fucking Star Trek Discovery. There's that one scene there where that bloke's getting berated by that fucking 13-year-old girl, and she's carrying on like some spoiled little fucking shit, carrying on like Dr. Evil from fucking Austin Powers. Like, shit, I'm not finished.
Yeah, that's
You know?
one of the Star Trek Discovery shorts, I think it was called.
Yeah, like, as if they're going to get an audience with that fucking kind of bullshit.
Yeah, they had a similar thing in The Next Generation with when they introduced Reg Bartley. They handled that character like adults, and he went on to be a valued member of the team. Like you said, she had to behave to him like a spoiled 13-year-old who's in charge of the netball team.
Yeah. Just in case people don't know, she apparently is the body creator for the character from The Last of Us 2, the lesbian creature thing.
Oh, no wonder why she sucks.
Yep. She probably
Can we actually say that she sucks if she's a lesbian?
yeah. But let's face it.
No, lesbians don't suck. No, lesbians don't suck. That's the problem.
Yeah, they lick.
Oh, dear God. Yes.
Little girl, do you want to see some puppies? Cut the crap and get your cock out.
Is that what you say to all the lesbians, you mean?
Yes. Anything you like, Southerner.
It's not about what I like. I said, is that what you do? And you said yes. I mean, I don't know where to go with that one, mate.
Then I added on anything you like, Southerner.
Yes, I know, which still implies that you liked it.
No, that actually implies, we put that on the end of my comment, that actually implies that I'm just humouring you.
I'm not sure it does.
Yeah, it does. It's like you say something and I go, oh, anything you like.
Is
Not
that what you have to say?
Like is, but in the chat we have the man that doesn't exist. Hey Dave, how's it going, man?
Hello,
No,
Dave.
no problem.
Hold on, I think he prefers to be called Rodney.
No,
So who's his Del Boy then?
David is rather well known as.
That's a good question.
Who's Dave? We don't know who Dave is. It's great. We actually carried this on with Mad for quite a while. It was highly entertaining, actually. And yes, we took the absolute piss out of Mad for it. And no, I don't care.
We always took the piss out of Mad.
This is
And let's
true.
face it, Mad enjoyed it.
Well, that's why I kept coming back and inviting you on.
Yeah.
Aren't we just doing the Mighty Jingles thing and calling him Dave because his real name's just too hard to pronounce?
Probably. I mean, all the times I came on the Mad Dodger streams and 5 minutes in, there would be half an hour of Dodgers jokes.
Yeah.
If he didn't like it, I would never have gotten on a stream again.
Yeah, that is true. Though I do have to say, Batman, I did beat you last year at exactly 1 minute past 12 British time, so real time. I actually took the piss out of the Dodgers to dodge, and it was perfect. He just sort of and it was great. Honestly, it was the first person to have spoken to him in the new year, and the first thing I said, pointing out, it's Rounders.
Yeah. Oh, God, I remember when that started. Because you guys are English, British. You don't know about baseball yet. You go, yes, we do. We play it over here. Well, the girls play it over here, only we call it Rounders.
Yep.
And it's a city game.
Yep.
He hated it. It was funny as hell.
We got two versions for the Schuler's out here: softball, and for the ones that really can't play at all, we got T-ball.
Yeah.
Oh,
T-ball.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it sounds
that's where
very
it-
similar to testicle.
No, that's where the ball is sitting on a pole just in front of the bats person because women can't throw.
oh my god!
I mean, I'm gonna leave that one there. I'm gonna leave that one there. Have you ever seen a woman when she's throwing like knives and pots and pans? They can throw when they want.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the
can't throw, and I've got B. I mean, that one can throw shoes better than a fucking hunter. I'm telling you.
Do you know that originally in cricket, well, in most sports, boys used to bowl underarm.
Yeah.
Girls didn't bowl underarm, and that's because they used to play sports in those fucking stupid dresses. So they couldn't
Okay.
bowl underarm.
Didn't know that. Cool.
Yeah.
Good to know. Okay.
Well, it's just like women's tennis. Like, women's tennis, they carry on like, oh, women are better sports persons than men. No, the only
No,
reason
they're not.
why women's tennis exists is because Anna Kournikova.
Oh, look, women are better sports people than men. You've seen a male football team win the World Cup, right? They act like sportsmen, don't they? They shake hands with the opposing side, and
Generally,
they're dignified about it. You saw the American women's side win the Women's World Cup, and they acted like a bunch of arrogant bitches.
You know what's
Half of
even
them
worse?
look like they. Half of them look like they should be
hang on,
cast members
hang
on fucking
hang
that
on.
show Vikings.
Hang on, it gets even worse. You would know that the men that have won the World Cup, probably the best team in the world. When women won the World Cup, they got beaten by 15-year-old boys the next week.
Yeah, they got beaten by the 15-year-old boys about 2 weeks beforehand, I believe.
Yeah.
Well, it's not
there's
just-
that.
got beaten.
Hey, it could have been both. I don't know.
Well, it's not
Pretty
just
sure it was
that.
after. Pretty sure
Well, it's
it
not
was
just that. It's like fucking was about 4 or 5 years ago. They had a big fucking stink about how they weren't getting paid the same as the blokes and all this, and they demanded the same money and the same things. But they also wanted things like maternity leave and marriage leave and all this kind of shit.
And they got told
And-
to fuck off.
They nearly killed the fucking industry because, well, they can't afford to pay them the same because they don't have the same ticket sales.
Yeah, that's what they got. That's actually what they got told. I believe the actual wording was, when you pull in as much money as the male sportsmen are pulling in, then we'll pay you the same rate. Well,
Oh, well,
apparently, even the majority of women don't like watching female sportsmen.
And lesos need to understand one fundamental fact. If you don't want to fuck the blokes aren't interested in you.
Yeah,
So if you're going to fill the bloody the league up with just lesbians, well, yeah, okay, you're just going to get women viewers.
Oh, a scene from the up and coming Aquaman 2. Hey Arthur, what's wrong with your eye? I walked into a door. Well, that you should. I walked into a door.
Oh, that's fucking funny. Me mate's fucking stepfather bloody actually did walk into a door and he's like he actually got a black eye from it. And I said, "See, ladies, it does fucking happen."
Actually, that happened to my mother, and for about a month, people in the neighbourhood, especially the women, thought my dad had belted her. He hadn't. She'd walked into a door. He couldn't have belted her. He was doing his final bit of service in the army before he was posted to the local army careers office. He was down in Winchester at the time.
It doesn't fucking matter if you did or didn't, man. I've been doing first aid since I was 8 years old, and I've taken people from incidents to the ER and shit like that, where I was just a person at this event or venue or whatnot, and I find out I'm sitting in the waiting room after they've gone into triage, and they've come out after they've been seen to, and they're like, they just spent the first 20 minutes just trying to convince me that you were the one that did this. No shit. They take him in triage, lock the door, and go, "It's okay, you're nice and safe in here. Just tell us what he did. We'll just get the police to come and arrest him." They're like, "What the fuck? No, he's the only cunt that's helping. In fact, fucking let me back out because fucking he's doing more than you cunts are." And then nurses wonder why they get abused. It's like, what the fuck?
What? Just tell me what he did. He phoned for the ambulance.
He fucking immobilized my arm that's been broken, and he put me in the car and drove me here. That's all he did. Yeah, but how did he break it? He didn't. It's okay. You can tell us. It's okay. You're nice and safe. Oh, get fucked, you stupid slut. There's no excuse to abuse a nurse, you see. Oh, get fucked, you stupid whore.
You want a funny story about women and medical conditions? So a mate of mine, they used to be in the local constabulary. He's since left in disgust. But he says he was on traffic patrol once. Guy goes speeding past him, right? No, decent car, speeding past. And the manager pulled him over after a bit. And this guy, panic-stricken look on his face, sweating, told them he was hurrying to get his wife to the hospital because she's in labour. Which he looks over at the passenger seat, the rear passenger seat, there's nobody there. There's a couple of suitcases in the rear passenger seat, but there's no one.
He forgot him.
Yeah. So this guy actually convinced him to follow him back home. And there, sitting on the doorstep, is a very angry, very pregnant woman.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Oh, and I've got something to say about Star Trek Discovery. Something I like about Star Trek Discovery.
Okay. We're all good. Well, actually, I'm running through all the possibilities that you might like about it, and I've run out of them. Go on.
7 of 9.
No, it makes 7 of 9 is not in Star Trek Discovery.
Oh, is she in the other one, Picard?
Yeah, she's in Placard, and she's an old hag now anyway. So
Yeah, is it 7 of 9 or a 2 of
no,
36?
it's not nothing like that. What it is Star Trek Discovery really makes you appreciate the fan films.
Harsh, but fair.
Hey, some of those fan films are quite good. Some of them, the majority of them are pants, like, but it's still better Trek than Discovery.
Fair. Vi, I'm going to send you a thing from Discord. Can you play it? Because I can't do any of that shit. The fact that I actually get this working is a miracle. You all right with that, mate?
I'll try.
Lord with love.
Apparently, MC sent this and said it should be played. So,
oh god,
good luck.
It's probably the red flag knowing MC and his communist ideals. I think yeah.
This may take a while, boys and girls. I'm actually getting hit by Australia's fabled internet.
Jensen, I think that's what MC actually. I think I know what MC actually stands for.
Go on then.
Mr.
Corbyn.
Mr. Corbyn.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, I take that back.
No, Batman, that's not
I
cool,
take it
man.
back. I take it back.
Thank you. I'm okay if you called him Diane Abbott, but not that creature.
Oh, see, he's really communist. We should give him a Russian name, so he's now Mr. Chekhov.
Okay, let's see. Keep talking.
Sorry,
Hey,
I
another
screen sharing and shit. That's someone else's thing.
I know that Jar Jar Abrams' Star Trek films were really bad, but he actually did get one thing right, apart from 2 characters. Apart from Scotty and Chekhov, the casting was top notch.
Okay, right. Yep, hang on. Okay, okay. Can you see that?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah. These 2 cunts are ripping the place off, then the place gets robbed. And then these 2 cunts fuck the robber over.
Outstanding.
Not bad. There was one a couple of weeks ago where
Here we go.
a guy goes in to rob
What was that?
store. Well, yeah, they were.
There you go. Here's the gun. Now, scarp up it.
They weren't
Before he
gonna
realises
harm
we fucked him
anybody,
over
were
too.
they? No, the difference is they weren't harming anybody. yeah, they were harming his business, but they weren't harming people. There was one I saw a few
True.
weeks ago. This guy goes in, gun, pulls out a pistol, tries to rob the place. So this guy reaches down underneath the fucking counter and pulls a katana out, and this guy just legs it.
Let's be fair, okay? Wouldn't you?
Well, there's
Oh,
the typical Texas one. There's the typical Texas one where the guy comes in, points the gun at the cash attendant, and the cash attendant just reaches down to his belt, pulls out an even bigger gun, and goes, "Come on, son." Okay, here you go.
There's certainly something there, isn't there? But then again, that's why God created shotguns. It's a wonderful thing. While you man,
Oh God, are we talking to Biden?
Sorry,
Buy a
what?
shotgun.
Huh?
Buy a shotgun.
That's a concept thought, actually. No, we actually, as I say, Robert comes into a shop, pulls up his top. He's got his gun there, and he's trying to act all hard, and you just drop a shotgun down, pointing at him and smiling. At this point, you've got to guarantee that you can hear his arse going, because he is absolutely shitting himself.
Yeah. I've been looking for this. I don't think you get sound for this. It's the one where the Scottish coppers raid. Yeah, this family. I don't know if you've seen it, have you?
Not that I know of. I'm ready to.
I'll send it to Farty because I think Farty knows how to do the sound as well, don't you?
Don't expect too much, dude.
I never do.
You know more than me, man. Trust me.
Oh shit, you must know fuck all because I only know only a little bit.
Dude, there is life form that is still growing on the inside of rocks that know more than me.
There you go, Farty. The show is yours.
Okay.
Yeah. Welcome to Nicola Hitler's Germany, Scotland.
Hang on. Is it a video or is it just the image?
It's a video. We had 2 CSGs there.
I know that's my fault.
No, it's not. It was mine because I was trying to see if I could use my browser on my phone to be able to share because I have Chrome obviously on my phone. But no, I can't do it. So never mind.
I thought for a second you disconnected and reconnected.
Hang on, I got to actually bring the whole article up.
Oh dear.
Here we go. Okay.
Yes, we are all boomers. Okay.
I clicked. Don't show
I
these
can do a
tips
stream.
again.
I was born in the last year of the boomer generation, but I was raised as Generation X, so.
Fair. I'm technically worse than all of you. Well, actually, both me and CSG are the worst. We are technically millennials.
Inept.
I'm a little bit old, but I'm not too bad.
Go away. Okay, you can see that obviously.
Yeah, we can see it.
Yep.
All right. Now, it should play volume. It should.
Did you click the right button?
I don't know.
No, you didn't. So get rid of that. Get rid of your share. So get rid of the shares. Now, when you go to share the button, click onto the tab, and at the bottom in the left-hand corner, it will go share audio with that tab. Do that, and you've got the audio.
Guys, we send things through to CSG from now on, okay?
I can't. I'm on my phone. I'm on my phone.
CSG, when you were 6-year-old, were you the one who programmed the video?
I wish.
I know. When I was a kid, I was the remote for the TV.
No, I was. Yeah, sorry. No, I remember. Yeah, every time, even still to this day. Why are you sharing me for?
Okay, cool. You can hear that. This is going to be the only way I'm going to have to do this. So, okay. And I just pull my headphones out.
Could you not push a button? Could you not push a button that says share audio?
It doesn't give me that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
I did not ask you in here.
Hang on.
Yeah, we got that. Yeah, start again. Yeah.
Start again, you cunt.
I mean, I did say that to you already.
There we go.
That is a podium, right? Yes, it is. That's my house. Get out of my house. I did not ask you in here. Get out. For what offence? For what offence? I am a woman of this land, right? Listen. It's wrong, man. No, it's wrong, man. You have to get your right now. No, just stop it, man. In my house. You don't think so. What's wrong? What are you, mate? No.
No, you can hear the voice of that person holding the camera. That's obviously a kid, right?
Daughter, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah. What? Yeah. She didn't do anything, and the police basically slam it to the fucking ground. In the video I saw, I'm forgetting whose channel it was on. They're actually yelling that she'd just come out of hospital. That is stormtrooper fucking activity.
Oh, we had something similar like that in fucking Melbourne, but this stupid bitch was running around fucking during quarantine with no mask on and all this kind of stuff. And then she tried fucking doing the whole waterworks and even had a kid going, "Mommy, the police are bad men," and all this kind of shit, and no one cared.
I mean, it's like for one of those types of people, I'd say please just whack them. But like this is a bit different. It's literally in a home. Why are the police even there in the first place? They're not saying that there's people in the house or anything else like that. Why are they even there? She's telling them to leave.
Yep.
She's telling them to leave as well afterwards. Which if you haven't got a warrant, you're not allowed in.
No.
So
Yeah.
The police said that they were told that the neighbours had said something, and they've got reason to believe you've got people in the house.
Sure, but that only means if they're committing a crime that they'd be allowed in, and technically there's no crime even with coronavirus. There's still no crime.
Yeah, that's why I said welcome to Nicola Hitler's Germany, Scotland.
Oh, that's why I couldn't fucking understand them speaking.
Oh, that's so harsh.
With attitudes like that, no wonder they want to be fucking independent and give up all
Good
that
luck
money.
to them. Good luck to them. I hope they do.
And give up all that money they get off us.
Actually,
I don't care. Again, I don't care if the Scottish people really want to go off and they really want to be independent. We did it with Europe. It's only a political union. If they want to fuck off, fuck off.
To date,
Years they got the vote and they didn't.
Yeah, to date, the United Kingdom is the most successful political and economic political union in the world. I mean, God, the arguments I've had with Sturgeon zombies on Twitter. They think that they subsidise the rest of the UK, particularly England. It's the other way around.
To about 1,000 to 1,500, depending on where you are.
And the Scottish people don't see most of that money that is sent back up to Scotland.
Yep. Well, it's stuck in their First Nations fucking Prime Minister area. Their Parliament. It's stuck there.
Yep. There's the idea is, from what I've heard of on various channels, is they're stockpiling this money for if they get independence. But that's great. How are they going to use it? Because they won't be able to use pound sterling anymore. No other country's going to let them use their currency anymore. Any new currency they instigate is going to do really badly in the economic world until it proves itself, which it can't, because they've got a deficit almost as high as Greece's.
You haven't heard, have you? They're planning on joining the by the way, EU was quite surprised at this as well, but they're planning on joining the EU and taking up the euro. So
they've been told many times, and quite recently, early this year, in fact, their application to join the EU will be rejected.
Well, see, boys and girls, drugs are bad. Just take a look at the Scots. They haven't fucking learnt from Greece and Italy.
Yep. Right, apparently, though, the coronavirus vaccine, it will be quite easy to distribute in Scotland, particularly in Glasgow, because they used to sticking needles in their arms.
I thought they were going to do it the same way that Sheilas usually get pregnant and just get everyone to lie in the gutter and spread their legs and just pour it down there.
Ouch, that's harsh. Not
it is.
necessarily wrong, but harsh. After all, these are our brothers and sisters from... I can't even carry that on.
Actually, you speak more truth than you realise, because the Scots, the Irish, and the Welsh keep saying, we're not the same races. Yeah, you English, you're invaders. The people who comprise the English have been in these islands for almost 2,000 years now, right?
Yeah.
During that
The Scots
time,
are effectively Nordic Vikings.
Yeah, but during that time, they've moved they've moved about, they've intermingled, interbred with the Irish, the Scots, and the Welsh to such an extent we are one nation.
Yeah.
Well,
I absolutely agree.
That's the argument I have here, which is fucking multiculturalism, right? They introduced multiculturalism, and now there's no such thing as a white Australian anymore. So you can either be Aboriginal or multiculturalist. But by being multicultural is like we are supposed to be of all races, colours, creeds, religions, and beliefs, and all this kind of shit. So therefore, by definition, I cannot be racist. Don't blame me. I didn't think of it. I just weaponized it.
No, that only works when it's in their favour. What you're saying isn't in their favour. So
I threw that at an Abo Sheila one day, and she was really pissed off that I had her over a barrel.
I've been talking about the Aborigines. I've been told by quite a few Australians, you get the Aborigines in the cities, the race baiting arseholes. You get the Aborigines that live in the bush who just couldn't give a fuck.
That's true. Yeah, you do have the ones that still have their tribes and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
They're real good people. They'll help you out if you break down the middle of nowhere, right? You got the town Aboriginals who are all fucking drunks and druggos and shit like that. You got the city Aboriginals who are semi-educated and want to rewrite history and shit. Because only 20 years ago, boys and girls, they reckon they were only here for 40,000 years. But I don't know, somehow 20 years or 2 decades defines 2 millennia because now it's 60,000 years. But you see, the real reason for that, boys and girls, is because about 20 years ago, we found that there was the fossil evidence of a race of pygmies that were here before the Aborigines, and because they don't exist anymore, that dictates that the Aborigines killed them all off. Now, when that happened, we went, you killed off all the pygmies, at least we let you cunts live. No, butter, they were never here. No, butter.
Hey, there's another thing I remember reading about the Aboriginals. They are far more closely related to Caucasians than they are to black people.
They are, because, during the Ice Age and shit, like, they fucking came over the ice bridges and shit, and they're pretty much Indonesian, if anything else.
Yep. Another thing I read about them, I don't know how true this is, but apparently on average they've got a slightly smaller brain than other humans, but a slightly higher average IQ as well.
Don't know about the higher IQ, but they've got thicker skulls. We know that for a fact.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's because you...
Well, I mean, the slightly higher IQ does make sense to me. I mean, up until very recently, they were still living
Tell me I'm wrong.
in a Stone Age culture. You'd need to be smart to survive in that.
Well, I'm not really kidding about the thicker skulls thing. There's like one rule of thumb: don't punch an abo in the head. That's a quick way of breaking your fist. That's true.
Jensen, you didn't tell me that it's gone past 9 o'clock. I need to get off.
Oh, it's gone past 9 o'clock. Sorry, dude.
Hey, just silence yourself. Use your flashlight or whatever you need to get off, and then unsilence yourself.
He needs to get off. His sheep needs to go back to the barn.
I'm sorry about that one. That was unnecessarily crude of me.
No, I can't use the flashlight because then I have to look at myself, and that just puts me off.
What do you think the flashlight feels like? Nobody ever thinks about the flashlight, do they?
That's why I don't use the flashlight. I don't want to put it in its wrong place.
Hey, No, I've seen my flashlight. It's been in the shower and it won't wash off. It won't wash off.
I think he actually is talking about using a torch, and there's only one way you're going to use a mag light to fucking have a wank.
No. He's really not.
No, I'm talking about you.
No, he isn't. It's just the way he pronounced flashlight.
I don't think I ever. Yeah, fair enough. I was saying flash, you were saying fresh.
Flash.
Yeah.
Flash. Right,
Like I
that being
said, there's only one way you're going to use a mag light to have a wank.
No, that's an idea. Fresh flash.
Sorry about that, Steve. That was me completely forgetting. I apologise, sir.
No, that's all right. I mean, the only time that I use a flashlight like that is to make sure that I'm helping other people out. See you later, guys. Bye.
Yeah,
See
have a
ya.
good one, mate. Take care.
Toodles.
Too many comments that I could make, but I won't.
Make them.
All right.
I suspect there are only... Yep, there are only 3 people watching now.
Yep.
Wanna be me.
Maybe us.
That's us. See, I join and you lose viewers.
To be honest, we've been going for an hour and 45, so does anyone here actually have any final thoughts?
Yes. If anybody out there is going to France, please take some shaped charges and sink a few fishing ships.
Actually, where the fuck are the French frogmen nowadays with the Chinese fishing fleets?
The French frogmen are all in hospital because their legs have been amputated.
This is fair.
There's a
Rainbow
French
Warrior.
Hey, there's a French version of Jensen warning about pirates eating very large frog legs.
Well, I'm willing to admit I have actually been to Paris, and I'm just going to leave that there. All right, people, I will actually head. Thank you for turning up and listening, those that may or may not still be left. And thank you guys for coming on. Seriously, that's very nice of you. I'll speak to you later.
It was our pleasure. Aaron Telford just still in the chat.
Cool. See ya.